State Petramala and Johns Hopkins in the NCAA tournament for a record 46th time. The Blue Jays playing host to Georgetown, the Big East tournament champs. Happy Mother's Day from Homewood Field in Baltimore, Maryland. We're on the campus of Johns Hopkins University. Alongside Quinn Kesnick, I'm Anish Shroff. Earlier today, Maryland advancing with a win against Robert Morris. Denver, the first unseeded team to get to the quarterfinals. And the winner of the game between the Blue Jays and Hoyas will take on Duke next weekend in Annapolis. Well, we've got Quinn Kesnick, a former All-American goalie at Johns Hopkins, and our focus will be on the two men in the cage, Brock Turnbull and Nick Morocco. Both won MVP honors in their respective conference tourneys.
Yeah, let's start with Georgetown's Nick Morocco. Lanky lefty. He's a minimalist. That is, he shows great patience, and then boom, he pops and reacts to the ball. He played terrific in that Big East tournament, and he comes into this game with great momentum. Now, when he's talking about Brock Turnbull, you're looking at him right there. Turnaround Turnbull. A year ago, struggling around 40%. Coming off a Big Ten two-game stretch, he was 67%. His eyes, his hands, his feet, they're synchronized. All the extra work with the speed bag, the jumping of rope, the wall ball, it's paid off.
Morocco in the Big East tournament made 26 saves, including 14 in the final against Denver. Georgetown held the Pioneers to 3 goals. Johns Hopkins won the Big Ten tournament, knocking off Ohio State in the semis and defending champion Maryland in the final. Peter Tagliaferri and Hunter Moreland at the face-off X. And out of bounds, it belongs to Georgetown off the opening draw. The Hoyas back in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2007. It's a 13-man senior class responsible for the turnaround. 2 wins 2 years ago, 4 wins last year, 10 wins going into the Big East tournament. They got 2 more in the automatic qualifier. This senior class has stuck together. Kevin Warren has stuck with the senior class, and now Georgetown back in the dance.
Biggest turnaround in Division I, team with a strong sense of identity, tenacious defense, super patient O. In a lot of ways, they remind me of the Towson Tiger team that made it to championship weekend and has made playoff runs in back-to-back seasons.
Extremely strong defensively and in the defensive midfield. Offensively, they are without their best player. Daniel Buccaro tore his ACL, but Georgetown undefeated since Buccaro went down. Hoyas on offense. Here's Lucas Wittenberg, part of that first midfield. And that one gets away, tracked down by Patrick Foley. He can't handle it. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Matt Behrens. And Johns Hopkins has the ball for the first time today. Hopkins the last 2 years blown out in the first round by Duke last year, by Brown the year before. Looking to get back to the quarterfinals. Duke awaits the winner of this game.
I liked what I saw at practice yesterday from the Blue Jays, Anish. I thought they had great energy, wonderful spirit. They looked fresh, they looked happy and hungry.
Here's the freshman Connor DeSimone, top 5 recruit coming out of high school. And now Shaq Stanwyck, the last of the Stanwicks, the youngest of 8 siblings who all played Division I lacrosse. Joel Tinney, the Tin Man, opens the tin on the scoring this evening.
We want more. That band gets it going. Tinney's had a masterful senior season. Plants his feet and lets it rip. A fast start imperative for Hopkins, because Georgetown, their formula for success this year, and in 11 of their 12 wins, has been to get the early lead, to slow tempo. You saw that in the Big East Finals against Denver. So if Hopkins can get the early lead, then the Hoyas are going to have to keep up with the Jays.
And half of its games, Georgetown has held the other team to 6 goals or less. And head coach Kevin Warren said face-off play would be critical. He said if you win the face-offs, you can control the tempo. And Hopkins wants to go a little faster than the Hoyas.
Ground balls dictate tempo. You can talk all you want about playing fast. If you don't have the ball, it's difficult to play fast. Work hard to earn the ball off the carpet.
Thomas Guida controls for Hopkins. Had a career-high 3 goals in the Big Ten final against Maryland. And now the shifty Alex Kincannon. He had the game winner on a crazy bounce against Ohio State in the Big Ten semifinals.
Double bounce, the immaculate deflection.
Cole Williams coming off a 5-goal game, 3 with his offhand. Dave Petromalis said that was a huge development. Now Guida dodging from up top. Here comes Williams. This is Stanwyck. Williams can't get to that left hand, denied by McLeod. And now Guida again.
Georgetown defends the paint. They pack it in super tight.
And that's their best defender, 13 in blue, Ryan Hersey. He's a short stick, but Georgetown's best cover man. Williams left-handed. It's wide, and Stanwyck there for the backup.
See, all those dark blue jerseys are in front of the goal within about 10, 12 yards of the cylinder.
Stanwyck, who's been playing hurt down the stretch. Up top, Patrick Frazier. Left hand free. And too high. Here's a question, Quint. 3 of Shaq Stanwyck's sisters played at Georgetown. Where does the rooting interest lie today?
With Shackelford, no question.
She and Coco and Wick Stanwyck all played at Georgetown. Covey at Boston College. Brothers Tad and Steele played at Rutgers in Virginia, and Wells, of course, for Johns Hopkins. We get a moving pick on Hopkins, and the first turnover for the Blue Jays.
Georgetown's man-to-man defense packed in, as we said, their ability to handle the invert and then to defend the 2-man, the pick-and-roll game with Johns Hopkins is a defensive key for Coach Kevin Warren.
Offensively, Georgetown does not have much depth. With Buccaro out, the attack is Clark, Caraway, and Behrens. And the midfield really is only a 4-man rotation.
Yeah, 4 or 5 guys. They played 18 in the Big East Championship game against Denver. They caught a break with the weather here. It's only 60 degrees. Yesterday, it was in the low 80s and sunny. Big difference.
Massimo Bucci, the sophomore from Ithaca, off target. There to back up is Jake Caraway. 19 in blue, has become the go-to guy offensively with Buccaro out.
Right-handed gunslinger, terrific mid-range and outside shooter.
He had a hat trick against Denver in the Big East final. Now Bucci. Caraway against Patrick Foley. Foley, an outstanding cover man, a lefty. Now Lucas Wittenberg looking for the crease, looking for Behrens. The pass off target. This is a game, Quint. If Hopkins jumps out to an early lead, they get a couple of goals early. All of a sudden, Georgetown may have to speed up. I think it's imperative for Georgetown to not let Hopkins build up a cushion early. Keys for Johns Hopkins, Q.
Well, ground balls dictate tempo, as we've been talking about, whether it's face-off ground balls or ground balls in the flow of play. And then getting off to an alert start to kind of extinguish this great momentum that Georgetown brings to the table today. And then getting to Morocco early is critical.
First save by Morocco on the shot by Quinton Palace.
When you watch him on tape, if he gets off to a good start, like he did against Denver, man, he seals that goal up with saran wrap and nothing gets in.
Good ride there. Now Williams trying to knock it loose from Hersey. He does. Williams gets it back for Hopkins. Here's Stanwyck leading the break. Has the trailer. Tinney, 2-zip, Blue Jays.
Cole Williams' name will not show up on the stat sheet in association with this goal, but it's his caused turnover. A one-handed wrap check on the far side, the University Parkway side of this field, using his length and reach to dislodge the ball. The Jays run in transition, and it's Tinney from Stanwyck. The Tin Man's got a pair.
Tinney, one of the best all-around midfielders in lacrosse. So dangerous, too, on the wings of face-offs.
Yeah, I think he is the best, Anish. You know, we say that, and I look at his assist totals. Gigantic.
30 for a midi.
Ground ball play. You know, he's really their best defensive midfielder. That's why he was a high draft pick in Major League Lacrosse. He's skill set. He's got them all.
First round draft pick of the New York Lizards. Here's Ryan Hersey, one of the top D-middies in the country. His defense against Ethan Walker is the reason Georgetown is playing today.
Yeah, and they may play Hersey down low at times against Cole Williams or Shaq Stanwyck. Galligan, 28 in blue, is also spectacular. That's really the strength of this Georgetown team, is that defensive midfield. Hersey, Jenkins, Galligan.
Hersey blanked Denver's Ethan Walker. Walker 0 for 12 shooting, and Walker was the Big East Player of the Year. Keys for Georgetown, Quint.
Well, defend the invert and that pick and roll game that I talk about. Hopkins loves to set picks and use two-man games. And then keep it hot on offense. Ball movement and people movement. Don't get stagnant.
Craig Burge, the senior, had 4 goals against Villanova in the Big East semifinal. Now Wittenberg, the transfer from Mercer, led the Bears in scoring a season ago. Caraway and a save by Turnbull.
I'll tell you, that's what you want if you're Brock Turnbull. They call him buckets. Early on in his freshman year, he draining threes behind us in the gym during orientation. He's a high school wrestler, state champ, 220-pounder out of Hereford. I don't buy that story, Anish. There's no way that he was draining threes.
Well, he told us it was an outlier. He said, listen, I'm not really a great basketball player. I got hot my first day in front of everybody, and the nickname Bucket stuck.
What a great kid at practice yesterday. We had a chance to speak with him. You'll see that at halftime.
He's got a few quirky superstitions. Patrick Frazier. And this is the start that Dave Petramala drew up. Against a team that's limited offensively, Hopkins with a 3-0 lead. Tinney leading the blitz. Frazier tacking on the third. Kevin Warren, in his 6th season as Georgetown's head coach, his staff was named the coaching staff of the year in the Big East. And so much emotion shown by Warren after Georgetown won the Big East championship. This was a program that had won 6 combined games the previous 2 years. Warren's entire coaching staff from last year left. The reality was, Warren may have been coaching for his job, and winning that game, there was an outpour of raw emotion from Warren on the sideline. He joked with us, Long Island tough guy, but he could not contain himself, could not hold it in. Getting Georgetown to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2007 had to feel good, and he deflected a lot of credit to his 13-man senior class.
A new staff he's hired, and seniors who last year, upon losing that finale, had a team meeting and decided that things are going to change in terms of their off-season commitment, their level of accountability, and the way they were demanding of one another. And this team got off to a great start this year. They opened 6-0. They hit a skid in the middle of the season, Nish. They went 1-4, and I thought they might be toast and done, but they've rebounded, unlikely in the fact that Dan Baccaro got hurt.
Down a 5-0 spurt to close the season. That was done in large part without their best player, Baccaro.
Georgetown's defense has made giant strides from a year ago.
This is a critical juncture, though, in the game for the Hoyas.
Yeah, watching their huddle, I didn't love the body language from head coach Kevin Warren. He's upset.
Here's Bucci. Something to watch, too. Dave Petramala is going to ride the refs. He wants to see an early shot clock or two against Georgetown.
Well, Hopkins is handling these matchups right now. Wittenberg, 6 and blue, is probably their primary dodger. Bucci's got some quicks, not a great shooter.
Berge. Wittenberg with a bouncer, and Georgetown on the board, and the Hoyas bench engaged.
Break the ice, Lucas Wittenberg. Transfer from Mercer, a native of Kennesaw, Georgia. Lefty, righty, he can shoot it, he's got great speed, he's a passer, he's got a little bit of everything. And he has been a huge upgrade. Good size, too, at 6'3". Played a terrific game in the Big East Championship. Look at it there, 3 goals, 2 assists. This kid's a player. He's going to be a guy of national significance next year when he's a senior.
I mentioned he's from Georgia. He played for Liam Banks' club lacrosse team. Banks, a former standout at Syracuse. Scramble off the face-off, and it's picked up by Hersey. The 6'4" Dean Mitty accelerates into the attack box for the clear, and now Georgetown will set up on offense. 16 in blue, Robert Clark. He moved into the starting lineup with the injury.
4 middies, and guess who's out there again? Wittenberg and Berge against Denver in that Big East final. They only had 16 half-field possessions. They scored 7 goals on 16 possessions. But that's what kind of slow tempo they prefer.
And Quint, if you watch them, you may say, wait, why are they stalling? Why are they playing slow? Not a lot of choice right now for Kevin Warren. That's the best formula for Georgetown to win. If they play fast, they've got no shot against Hopkins in a track meet now. Austin McDonald is the 4th midfielder, and he's in the game. He's got the ball now.
I have great respect for this guy right here, 11 in blue. Berge, the senior from Massapequa, Long Island, more than 50 career assists. He can shoot it. Led his high school team to a state championship. He does everything really well.
Wittenberg, he's got his second. And like that, Georgetown has answered with 2 straight, both off the cross of the junior from Kennesaw, Georgia.
Speed dodge with a pick. Creates separation. Hopkins has to switch on it momentarily. Great power. He's running away from the goal, Anish, but he's able to twist and get power and torque from his hips and his shoulders, and blows that one past Turnbaugh. Back-to-back goals by Wittenberg. He's their most dangerous dodger with Baccaro out of the lineup.
Moreland and Peter Tagliaferri battle at the X. Tagliaferri's older brother, Michael, won a championship with UNC a couple of years ago. And a loose ball push. It's against Hopkins. And here's Berge to initiate for Georgetown. Joel Tinney, a couple of early goals for Hopkins. Patrick Frazier made it 3-0 Blue Jays. But back-to-back goals by Wittenberg have the Hoyas within 1. Wittenberg over to Berge. Skips it to Caraway. Terrific ball movement. It started with Wittenberg drawing the slide.
ball movement and people movement. Caraway is their best spot shooter. There's a screen set right here. Bucci just interferes slightly with Daniel Jones, 23 in white, on the recovery right there. You see the tail end of it. And that's why 23 in white had recovered to the inside. He's got to bounce back outside to the shooter. Caraway is dangerous when he can set his feet. Game on, and he's slow start. They answered.
We mentioned down 3-0, a critical juncture for a team not really built to come back. And the Hoyas found an answer. 3 unanswered goals. Moreland, trail check. Back to Georgetown.
Those turnovers are killers, okay? That is juice and lifeblood for the bench that's bouncing and feeling it now.
That first goal really seemed to light a spark on that Georgetown sideline.
So they're believing now. And offensively, this unit, they're a low-risk group. Again, they're going to chew clock. And in this 5-game win streak, they've been very efficient. You might not see the ball for another minute 30 or 2 minutes.
The winner of this game will face Duke next week in Annapolis. One more game tonight. That's Cornell and Syracuse from the Carrier Dome. Turnover for Georgetown. We come up on 1 minute to play in the first quarter.
Good to see Daniel Jones back in the lineup after serving his suspension in that Big Ten championship game. Coach Petramala telling us most improved, maybe on the entire team, definitely the most improved on the defensive end this season.
I still don't understand why he was suspended when they had that fracas against Ohio State. Didn't really see Daniel Jones doing anything that warranted a suspension.
Agreed.
Joel Tinney's got 2 goals. Place catch with Kyle Marr, son of Albany head coach Scott Marr. 30 seconds to go. Shot clock is off, and Johns Hopkins will hold for the final shot of this first quarter. DeSimone, the freshman. Cole Williams. Left hand free. That's dangerous when Cole gets that lefty free. 11 seconds to go as Stanwyck has the backup. Here comes Stanwyck, falls to the ground. Stanwyck bounces up, 5 seconds. Stanwyck looking for a cutter. He's got Williams, unable to connect. Look at the Georgetown bench, Quinn.
Winning the last minute of the quarter has been part of their winning recipe in the month of May. Tinney off to a big start. The Hoyas.
I told you this morning, you gotta open up that chest, baby. Open up that chest. Give it to one another. Because that's what we're about. Every day, somebody's told us we're not good enough to be here. Every day, people told you, why are you coming here? Today's the day, why? Today's the day we show everybody we belong. Oh.
A very subdued Kevin Warren, the Georgetown head coach.
I got chills, Anish. I'm ready to run out of the locker room and fight for that.
I'm ready to tackle you.
And fight for that man.
But you're a Masters champion, so I'm not going to do it.
He's done a fantastic job, but you see the passion that he coaches with it and the emotional level that this Hoya team is playing with.
Anish Shroff, Quinn Kesnick. This is a Georgetown team. They're running on adrenaline, they're running on juice, and they feed off their head coach. Kevin Warren has a unique background. He played for John Danowski at Hofstra, coached under John Tillman during Tillman's early years at Maryland.
It's a wonderful kaleidoscope. You know, he worked at UMBC as a defensive coordinator under Don Zimmerman. So there's championship lineage along the way. There's a great dynamic. You know, he talked about John Danowski and learning about relationships. Talked about Don Zimmerman and the importance of fundamentals and player development. Of course, John Tillman now at Maryland. They were together at Harvard. So Coach Warren has a terrific background in terms of the different steps in his career development.
That was a pregame football speech.
They play with emotion. You'll see their bench.
Massimo Bucci, now Berge. Hopkins scored the first 3 goals of the game. Then Georgetown answered with 3 in a span of less than 2.5 minutes.
Like watching them play in each, the little plays mean a lot.
Yeah.
Like the ground ball play, the dive play, running out shots. Little things are all celebrated, and that's when you know you're playing a team that's on a mission.
Wittenberg had a step on Owen Colwell, turns back, shoots wide.
He's clearly their primary dodger. And whether it's Reinson, Colwell, Foley, or Kuhn, stopping number 6 is job 1 right now for the Jays defense.
Here comes Bucci off the wing dodge. Bucci not much of a scoring threat, just 1 of 14 shooting. Marked by Daniel Jones, the shorty. Up top, Berge now over to the right wing. And Wittenberg, who's got 2 of the 3 Georgetown goals. Skip pass, deflected by Foley. Comes back to Berge. Georgetown, 4 unanswered, and the Hoyas with the lead.
Got a lot of respect for Craig Berge. But first-time grounders are the story of this goal. You got a chance, that ball hits your stick, it's on the carpet, you got to make the play. You don't, at this level, somebody else is going to capitalize. And that's 11 in blue.
A 4-time all-conference selection, a first-teamer this year, and a senior captain. Tagliaferri wins it back to himself.
And now they got the energy going. All their mid-tier, lower-level guys are getting involved. Everybody's raised their level along with Wittenberg, Caraway, and Berge.
Hoyas have won 6 of the 9 face-offs tonight.
This
Offside.
is dangerous. This is super dangerous.
Quick restart. Here comes Stanwyck. Cole Williams too high, and Kyle Marr there to back up. It just feels Hopkins has not had the ball a whole lot since the first few minutes of this game.
Yeah, Tinney's got a 55, and the goalie doesn't see that he has it. Now he does.
He's scored on a hidden ball trick before. The Navy game last year, right, that you did.
Yeah.
He's got the ball, he's got the ball.
Same exact spot, and we have the perfect angle to see both the ball and the goalie simultaneously.
Stanwyck had a 58-game point streak that ended this year, but that's a school record. Now Tinney against Gibson Smith, the freshman, who wears 17 for Georgetown. Brody Merrill's old number. The freshman DeSimone.
Georgetown establishes a tempo that when you do get the ball and you're attacking their defense, the tendency maybe to grip your stick a little too tight, saying, well, if we don't get something good here, we're not going to see the ball for another minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Hopkins only has 3 shots in the last 9 minutes. Stanwyck against Galligan, the short stick.
Stanwyck's got to be able to beat Galligan.
Dave Petramala telling us this week, Stanwyck, maybe the most underappreciated player to come through Hopkins, has played hurt for what seems like the last 2 years. Now a shot clock against Hopkins. Williams looking to bully in. Turning back to the right hand.
Good defense by Kieran Jenkins, a senior from Severna Park down near Annapolis.
DeSimone against Galligan.
Galligan and Hersey, 13, are excellent.
Now Stanwyck, no angle. Morocco right there.
Too easy, Anish, too easy. The lefty. Seal the pipe. Stanwyck turns to the outside, nothing doing. Great defense.
The last time Georgetown played in the NCAA tournament, 2007, they lost in the quarterfinals to Johns Hopkins. The Blue Jays would go on to win the championship in 2007, the last title for the Jays.
Fans want the shot clock.
Burge against a double.
Here it comes.
Georgetown's not even trying to score here.
No.
Caraway shot deflected. We get a flag in the air.
This is just a lack of discipline for the Jays defense. Maybe a little frustration as well, and they test your patience, the Hoyas do. They're right now, late in the season, they're playing super slow playoff lacrosse. Again, they remind me so much of what Towson did last year.
Dave Petramala told us that's something his team had to guard against, not getting frustrated when Georgetown plays lengthy possessions.
Now they go on the extra man for that undisciplined hit on the Dodger.
Hoyas 37% with the extra man this season. Burge over to Wittenberg. Clark. Hoyas moving it around the perimeter. Burge now feeding the crease. Behrens, man up goal for Georgetown. 5 unanswered. A little Hoya paranoia at Homewood.
Sensational skip pass right there through the alley. Behrens finishes. Freeze it right here. You see the defense gives you that seam. The key to man-down defense is taking away the interior in each, the crease man, and then denying any skip or through passes. Just keep the ball on the perimeter, and your goalie's going to make the 12-yard save. Once that skip pass compromises the integrity of your defense, you're looking at layup city here in Charm City.
Third assist for Burge.
Smart player, Craig Burge.
Tagliaferri with a tie-up with the face-off X against Kyle Prouty. Prouty hit the ground, a loose ball hold. It's against Georgetown, so Johns Hopkins ball. A 12-minute scoring drought now for the Hoyas. Or for the Blue Jays, excuse me.
Not sure I agree with that call. In a game like this, the magnitude of the few face-offs that we're going to have are gigantic. As we said earlier, ground balls determine tempo and pace.
Early on, it looked like the Blue Jays had a chance to maybe run away with it, up 3-0. A turning point for Georgetown to not let the game out of hand. The first goal seemed to loosen them up. The bench got fired up, and the Hoyas have scored 5 straight. Stanwyck skips to Frazier. A lefty pushed to his right hand. Nice defense by Galligan. Now Guida coming off the best game of his career. Kincannon. There's Cole Williams. Dave Petramala wants him to be an aggressor.
He's got to win this matchup.
How about the recovery by Georgetown defensively? Stanwyck against Moran. Picked up by McLeod on the switch, and now Guida to reset against Hersey.
13's not the guy I go after.
No.
I go after their close defense, 33 and 28. Excuse me, not 28.
Kincannon trying to get past Hersey. 5'5" against 6'4". Marr's shot, a save by Morocco. Rebound comes to Hersey.
Their midfield defense is outstanding. I go after their close D. But there's Morocco, another severe angle shot from the Blue Jays. And he just plays his angles to perfection.
Hopkins has not scored, Quint, excuse me, since the 6-minute mark of the first quarter. A drought of more than 14 minutes.
You look at every Georgetown possession. What are two things you're seeing out there at the midfield, Anish? Every possession. 6 and 11. They're going to be 60-minute guys today in this game. As I said earlier, caught a gigantic break with the weather.
Got temperatures in the high 60s. We had a lot of rain last night. Cooled down the area. Bucci comes to Berries. Wittenberg, he's got 2 goals. Now he's got a shorty. Christopher Hubler trying to mark Wittenberg. And now Caraway works against Kuhn. Shot clock against Georgetown. 30 seconds to get a shot on goal. Caraway initiates the contact. Over to Bucci. To Barron's, good look, but wide. Race to the sideline. Kevin Warren so fired up, he bumped into the official.
Matty Balaam.
Boy, he's caffeinated today, isn't he?
You know, you get your money's worth at home, folks. Heavily invested.
There is nothing subtle about Kevin Warren.
No, no.
Brenton Vallis out of a double team.
Where can Hopkins find success in the half field, Anish? That's the question.
I was going to ask you that question.
Well,
you tell me.
I go after polls. 33, Connor Moran. 20, maybe Jenkins. I think that 13 Hersey and 28 Galligan are outstanding players, and I love the future of 17 Gibson Smith.
They think Gibson Smith is a future superstar. Kevin Warren told us he loves recruiting hockey players, and Gibson played hockey for 10 years. Here comes Tinney against Hersey. Great matchup. Marr, that shot was deflected right on the doorstep. Tinney drew the slide, found the open man. Georgetown's defense closing quickly. "13 in blue, Ryan Hersey has been an eraser. Might be a short stick D-midi, but he is the best cover guy for the Hoyas. Williams to Marr, that one wide, but Stanwyck has the backup.
Starting to get some looks now inside.
Yep. And a timeout by Kevin Warren. 3:39 to go in this first half. Hopkins, a happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Thank you for spending part of your Sunday evening and Mother's Day with us. Georgetown with a 5-3 lead on Johns Hopkins, and we are joined by Tracy Marr, the mother to Hopkins attackman Kyle Marr, and the wife to Albany head coach and Hopkins alum Scott Marr. So, what's the difference in watching a game that your husband is coaching versus a game in which your son is playing in?
It's probably easier to watch Kyle in that it's his experience. We've already had ours, but with Scott, it's your lifeline. Like, this is what you're doing for your job. This is, you know, are you going to make it to the next year? Is it going to be a tough recruiting year? You know, that kind of thing. So, you know, you're building a program. I know it's only been 18 years of building a program, but still we're getting there. So it's a little easier to come down here and relax and watch this.
You have so much experience in this game with Scott. With Kyle, what's important in terms of being a mom?
You know, I think it's, you know, we're so fortunate that we've known David for so long. Yeah. So I know that he's happy here. This is the only place he's ever wanted to play. And so it's just that he's, you know, getting the most out of this experience, that he's going to leave knowing that he put everything into it, and he kind of, you know, he puts a lot of pressure on himself to live up to everybody's expectations.
I know you get the question a lot, but did Scott at least try to get him to come to Albany?
You know, I think the door was always open, but ever since, you know, he's been little, I joke, I tell this story all the time, that we went to Hopkins, we went to Syracuse when we first moved up to Albany, and Scott was on the road. It was their first year of coaching, and they announced, oh, Hopkins is going to be at the Dome next weekend. And Kyle looks at me and says, can we come? And I said, oh, it's Daddy's first game. And he says, there'll be other games. And I said, but we got to go be his first fans. And he goes, he'll have other fans. So I knew from that moment he didn't want to be anywhere else other than Hopkins.
What emotions do you deal with during a Hopkins game watching Kyle?
He's harder on himself than anybody else could be, so it's nice to watch, but, you know, you want him to make it to the next level.
Robert Clark makes it 6'3", Georgetown.
Yeah, and this is exactly, you know, they're getting down on themselves. It's a, you know, this is a make or break, so you want them to make it.
Well, I'll leave you with this, Tracy. So far, dad and son have not had to face each other in a game at the collegiate level.
Yeah.
The only way it could happen would be if both get to the championship. I think the focus then would be on you. If Kyle's team played Scott's team in a championship game, what would you be going through?
I'd put money on both games. I mean, on both teams, you know?
There's a picture of you with Kyle. Who are you rooting for?
You root for both. At that point, it's all good. It's gravy, you know?
Do you want to see that game?
I'd rather not. We went through it with David when he was here at Hopkins and Scott was at Maryland, and it was hard. You know, the people that won couldn't celebrate because the other person lost. So it's a hard way either way.
You know, if that game does happen, if we get Hopkins and Albany in the championship, you're going to see a lot of Tracy Marr.
Yes.
The camera is going to be on Tracy Marr. So I would recommend finding a safe spot, hide, maybe go incognito, because we're going to try to find you.
I will not be found, I promise.
Shot of the whole family. Your daughter was at Albany practice the other day. You got her coaching. She's coaching the face-off men.
She thinks she's a coach.
2:05 to go. Tracy Marr, thank you. Happy Mother's Day.
Thanks very much.
Coverage of the NCAA championships continue this weekend on ESPNU. For more information on NCAA men's lacrosse, log on to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 90 championships. Duke awaits the winner of Hopkins and Georgetown. We just heard from Tracy Marr. Albany into the quarterfinals. They'll face Denver next week. It's the heavyweight face-off matchup lacrosse fans have been pining for. T.D. Irwin against Trevor Baptiste.
Best ever in terms of World Fogo rankings. Right now, if you're Johns Hopkins, Craig Burrs has got 4 assists. Wittenberg's the main Dodger. You're down 3. You've given up 6 in a row. Okay, this is where you step back and you rely on your accumulated season experiences. Okay, it's not the first time we've been down. They were down 9-2 to Virginia. Rallied and won that game. That was the biggest comeback in Division I lacrosse this year against the Cavaliers. They were down in many games and rallied. So I know this is a playoff game and the tendency is to panic a little, but rely on your accumulated seasonal experiences.
What can Hopkins do to change the tempo of this game? Because Georgetown, after about midway through the first quarter, has put the brakes on this game. They've played at their pace. They haven't been rushed.
There's really only two things you can do, Anish, and that's commit to running harder, faster, and tougher on ground balls. And now defensively, maybe not be as passive. Stretch out, make these Georgetown players Dodgers, make them beat you and score unassisted goals. Try to use defensive pressure to inject tempo and pace into this game.
Less than a minute to go in the first half. Georgetown on a 6-0 run, looking to score an upset at Homewood. Earlier today, we saw Maryland down 6-3 to Robert Morris at the half. Terps, though, came back in the second half as Georgetown uses a timeout with 43 seconds. So Kevin Warren will try to draw something up.
He's been masterful at winning the last minute of each quarter. You watch that Denver game, late goals, late defensive stands, calling strategic timeouts. Playoff lacrosse is about clock and score management in many cases, and Kevin's making all the right calls right now as his Hoyas are winning those crucial last minutes of quarters.
So Brock Turnbaugh is going to have to be big. We got a chance to spend some time with the Hopkins goalie on Friday.
It's kind of, I do things in threes on game day. That's my time where I brush my teeth 3 times before a game on. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about the number 3, but just something about it kind of clicks for me. I watch The Office before games. I watch 3 episodes of The Office before I head up to Cordish or before we go over to a game.
You'll see the full interview that Quint did with Brock Turnbaugh from yesterday, or from Friday. It was yesterday, it was Saturday. Today's Sunday. Saturday. Either way, Turnbaugh, like you, a little quirky as a goalie.
Yeah, you kind of have to be a niche when people are flinging 4-ounce lacrosse balls at your head at 100 miles an hour. It's difficult to be normal.
Knowing you, as long as I've known you, I don't dispute any of that. Tomorrow on Get Up, 7 a.m. Eastern, Greeny, Beetle, and Jalen have you covered. We'll have Chauncey Billups on the show for his take on Cavs-Celtics Game 1. Last check, Celtics were putting a hurting on Cleveland with a big first half, plus the prediction for Warriors-Rockets, and Keith Olbermann on the MJ LeBron debate.
No Baptiste Ireland debate?
Maybe we can pitch to get that in there. MJ LeBron has become a debate. 30 seconds to go in the opening half. Georgetown has scored 6 unanswered. Denver so far the only unseeded team to win in round 1. We still have Cornell at Syracuse tonight. 15 seconds. Bucci down the alley. Up top Burge, he's got 4 assists. Clark lost it. Scooped up by Rapine. 3 seconds to go. Rapine flicks it downfield, and that takes us to halftime. Georgetown holds Johns Hopkins scoreless for the last 21 minutes of the first half. The Hoyas close with a 6-0 run. Yesterday, all 4 home teams won. Maryland held serve at home earlier today. Denver, the first road team to win with a win at Notre Dame. And now Georgetown on the road at Hopkins with a 6-3 lead going into the second half. Hopkins, the aggressor early. Joel Tinney, a couple of goals to get the Blue Jays going. Johns Hopkins opened this game, Quint, on a 3-0 run.
As easy as following the yellow brick road. The Tin Man, back-to-backers. The Jays were running and led 3-0. And then 6 straight from the Hoyas. Craig Burge has got 4 assists. Wittenberg has 2 goals. They've dominated face-offs, saves, and ground balls. That's all you need to know.
It's a Georgetown program that's back in the NCAA tournament for the first time in 11 years. And if you go back to what they did from 97 to 2007, 11 straight tournament appearances, 9 quarterfinal appearances, and a trip to championship weekend in 1999. When Y2K rolled around, this was a program that appeared on the cusp of joining the elite in lacrosse at the time. The Princetons, the Syracuses, the Hopkins, the Virginias. Instead, they could never quite get over that hump and consistently be a championship weekend team. And then, boy, it fell off, and it fell off fast.
Now it's coming back, though, with Kevin Warren. Biggest turnaround in the country, +8 in the win department. This is a team that's got a lot of will. Maybe not as much skill as the Blue Jays, but more will right now. They're winning all the hustle categories.
Hopkins ball to begin the third quarter. Blue Jays have been a second half team this year. Not the ideal start. 10-8 to Williams. No connection.
That looked like Maryland earlier today, a team that clearly wasn't emotionally ready to play Robert Morris, but so impressed with the way they bounced back. I mean, they were slug-like in that first half. There's John Tillman looking at his iPad, his team with no heart, no passion. Put down the computer and go after your guys. Something happened in halftime, and that was the real Maryland team we saw in the second half.
Maybe something on Netflix is on that iPad. Maybe
it's not about X's and O's. If you're watching that game, that was not about X's and O's ever. It was strictly about effort. And when Maryland showed up in the second half and delivered winning faceoffs, ground balls, boom, that's the Terps team.
You know, is there something to be said, and not to excuse Maryland, they almost got by Robert Morris, but is there something to be said that, you know, for a team that is used to getting to championship weekend, maybe a little harder to motivate for a first-round game against what appears to be on paper an undermatched or an overmatched foe.
Absolutely. That is the emotional challenge, to get that team prepared. You're at home. You're not in a hotel. You don't get on a bus. The crowd's not gigantic. There's not a big buildup. You know, so many of their recent games have had tremendous buildup. You're expected to win. Your eyes can be maybe down the road a little more than they need to be. And so what they showed in the second half, I thought that was the winning grit that you needed to see.
Here is DeSimone. Draws the double, retreats. Tinney against Hersey. Tinney with the shake. He is lightning quick.
Quick support by Georgetown now. Watch how tight their spacing is defensively. They really condensed the middle.
Stanwyck has been quiet. Behind the cage, DeSimone. Now Cole Williams looking for his first point. Had 5 goals, a career high against Maryland. We've got a flag coming against Georgetown. Williams, 6'5", the sophomore. Isolating Moran. Now Stanwyck, the maestro of this offense, the senior conductor. Tinney faked it. Looking for Vallis, who can't hold on. And now the penalty against the Hoyas.
The Hoyas pack it in, as I've been saying. They beg you to take the outside shot, as Denver did last week, and that's why Morocco had the big day.
33, 1 minute, slash. 33 blue, 1 minute.
They get Connor Moran. And let's see if this extra man unit can jumpstart Hopkins' offense.
Watch 33, the senior finance major, is taking a job in July up in New York City for Credit Suisse. Super smart kid. He was a walk-on from Loyola Blakefield, and he has just worked his tail off and gotten himself in the rotation. Spoke to him pregame. The kid's got a bright future up on Wall Street.
Kevin Warren calls him the quarterback of the defense. Nothing on the doorstep for Forey Smith. Georgetown has it. Tinney, the aggressive ride. Frazier got in the way, and the Hoyas have it. Man down. Here's Behrens.
They get it to Burge. The Hoyas were offsides there.
Wanted the offsides call. Now we get the whistle, and now they'll call the offside. So Hopkins gets it back. Still plenty of time on the extra man. A 24-minute scoring drought for Hopkins. Kyle Marr saved by Morocco, his 5th. Marr, Cole Williams, and Stanwyck a combined 0 for 12 shooting. Now, one of those three is going to have to get going if Hopkins is going to win.
And Anish, when you break down Kyle Marr's numbers, when he scores 3 or more goals, Hopkins is unbeatable. Typically, his goals are symbolic of great ball movement and transitional play. We've seen none of that today from the Jays after the first 3 or 4 minutes.
And Quint, even the Blue Jays man up the last 2 years, that was a surgical unit. You committed a penalty on Johns Hopkins, they made you pay. It hasn't been as effective this year. Why?
That right-handed shooter spot, not what it has been. Frazier is not getting the looks. I think the book is out, and teams take that away. I think Stanwick's health down, around goal line extended has also been an issue.
The last goal for Hopkins at the 5:58 mark of the first quarter. Galligan over to Caraway.
Fans, again, want the shot clock here. This is the type of game that'll be a poster child as the NCAA committee looks at improving tempo.
Wittenberg's shot saved by Turnbull. Hopkins in transition. Here comes Foley. He's got 1 goal this year. Over to Kuhn. And Hopkins, sloppy in transition. Moran has it for the Hoyas.
You want to win playoff games? You got to catch. You got to win the fundamental games. Teams who drop easy passes, we don't call their games up in Gillette, Anish. That's a routine play that's got to be made.
Now, you said it, Quint, earlier in the first half. So much Towson in Georgetown this year. The strength, the defensive midfield. Towson was a team that didn't beat itself.
Goaltending, strong coach, strong staff, sense of self. Understanding your own identity is such a big deal now.
Burge! Started low, finished high. 7 unanswered by the Hoyas. They're thinking upset at Homewood.
Everybody's bouncing. Everybody's got great energy. Plant your feet, grip it, and rip it. Drops it down low. Turnbull matches him. Pegs the net. The dew from the rain sprays the Baltimore evening, and there is Burge, who's having a monster day. As I said earlier, he can do everything. The only thing he's not, Anish, is super fast. But passing, shooting, dodging, IQ, he's got it all.
2 goals, 4 assists today. 50-50 ground ball off the faceoff. Who's got it? Who wants it? Gibson Smith had it. Cole Williams, hard stick check. McLeod to the ground. Flag coming against Hopkins as Morocco plays keep away. Over the last 6.5 quarters, Georgetown has allowed 6 goals.
Coming into the season, their big question mark was going to be this defense. Connor Moran had never started. Stephen McLeod, he's a sophomore now from San Francisco. He didn't get any reps. Gibson Smith is a freshman. It's an entirely new close defense.
New close defense. Kevin Warren lost his entire coaching staff in the offseason.
They brought in some good coaches, though, I tell you that much. David Shriver and Phipps.
Here's Behrens against Tinney. Behrens, inside roll. Clark. Second goal for Clark. The Hoyas erupt on the sideline. They have a 5-goal lead on Hopkins.
Hoya Nation on their feet. You make the little plays, it gives you a chance to dodge to pay dirt.
Wears his emotions on his shirt. Look at the lower left. That's Warren fist pumping.
That's a penalty.
That's a 20-inch vertical, perhaps.
It's a grounder and a penalty. And he just, again, This is a team that is bought in and understands the importance of every little play.
Warren very close to Georgetown or Johns Hopkins offensive coordinator Bobby Benson. They were in each other's weddings. They were roommates while both worked for Don Zimmerman at UMBC.
Yeah, they lived in White Marsh. Coach Benson right there was telling me that they would commute together through the tunnel and out to Catonsville when Bob was the OC for Don Zimmerman and Kevin was the defensive coordinator for the Retrievers.
Bobby Benson was telling me yesterday, Kevin Warren, and you saw a sneak peek on the sideline there, a heck of a dancer.
Really?
Heck of a dancer. We get a loose ball push against Georgetown. And Benson was telling me at one point, not only were he and Warren roommates, Benson lived with Kevin Warren and his then girlfriend and now wife.
Kevin's got that thick Long Island accent.
There was a little John Danowski when you talk to him.
There is. There's also a little Dick Vermeil last week when he was just tears. He admitted, though, he changed as a coach at the end of last year, Anish. That surprised me.
My 9th grade biology teacher used to have a sign in her classroom that read, "Adapt, migrate, or perish." Kevin Warren adapted. He admitted to us in his early years at Georgetown, maybe a little too hands-on, a little too dictatorial. He has ceded control of this team to his 13 seniors. He took no credit. He gave all the credit in the world to his seniors, but you got to give the coaching staff credit. They stayed the course through the injury to their best player, Daniel Baccaro. Nobody gave them a chance in the Big East tournament, and Georgetown emerged victorious, wins against Villanova and Denver.
Hopkins still trying to solve this defense now. It's been about 30 minutes without a goal.
Denver went 60 without solving it.
The short sticks, Galligan 28 and Hersey 13, are so strong that they force your hand offensively.
Here comes Tinney against Galligan using the shake. Tinney had 2 goals early, nothing since.
There you saw a nice double team and good spacing behind it. Excellent help by Lacalzi.
Cole Williams wide. This is like solving a Rubik's Cube blindfolded.
Well, the shots that they have been giving up, for the most part, have come from a severe angle. And Morocco, 67% in that Big East tournament. Lanky lefty, talked about his patience.
A 4-year starter, Nick Morocco. Morocco came out for a minute. Here's DeSimone. Georgetown sideline.
Look at that.
Wants a shot clock,
Look
and
at that.
Morocco comes up with another save, his 6th.
And that's like in your face. Not only did I make the save, I scooped it clean and basically showed the ball back to the shooter. That's when you know a goalie is seeing it, feeling it, and is going to have none of it.
A 30-minute scoreless drought for Hopkins.
Boom. Top hand. Look at him scoop that up. Look, and he just stares right back at the shooter like, I'm here all day, baby. I'm here all night.
Offsides on Georgetown. Let's see if Hopkins goes quickly. Tinney up ahead to Stanwyck. Terrific job by Moran.
They got too many on defense, Anish. Count them up for the Hoyas. You got too many.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
They got too many. The guys in stripes will be the last to see this. The Hopkins bench is going ballistic.
Dave Petramalo is going to let the refs hear about that.
Oh, they snuck him off. They snuck him off, and the refs didn't see it. Isn't that amazing? How does that happen in a playoff game?
We saw some below-average officiating last night in the Loyola, Virginia game. Pretty good crew here today. And Dave Petramalo, every right to be upset. 5-goal lead for Georgetown. Stanwyck, Marr.
Now you press, and we saw that from Denver when you watch that tape. A guy like Ethan Walker missing the net. You know, Morocco shrinks the goal. You start shooting to corners. Look at that, right in his wheelhouse. So comfortable, so poised. Does he have a pulse?
Now you're playing right into Georgetown's hands.
Exactly. You start settling for bad shots, and he does his job. Talk about hot goalies in this tournament. You'll see one tonight. Cornell Syracuse with Christian Knight. You're seeing Morocco. He's on fire.
Morocco 4th all-time in saves at Georgetown. He started all but 2 games for the Hoyas in his career. A couple of older sisters who played lacrosse at Richmond, and Dad Joe has been to every game and every scrimmage in Nick's 4 years with the Hoyas.
Duxbury, Mass. It's not like he lives in Georgetown.
Bucci against Jones. That pass was tipped. Kuhn got his stick on it.
I like Bucci, 37 in blue. With a name like that, he should have grown up in Yorktown.
That's right. Well, hey, we've got the Booch brothers coming your way after our game. Rick Beardsley and Paul Carcaterra will have the call for Cornell Syracuse. Wittenberg behind Bucci. Booched him. I'm still not exactly sure what that means, but Hopkins assistant coach Bill DeWan came up to me at practice on Saturday, and he goes, I heard you guys say Booch on the air. I go, Cark started the trend. We've carried it on, and now we got Beardsley tonight, so more Booching for you.
That'll be fun. Make defense great again tonight, Rick.
Did you see Beardsley's tweet this morning?
I did not.
You're a wardrobe guy. He tweeted out his wardrobe today. Velour sweatsuit.
Oh my God, are you serious?
We'll see if he does it.
Oh.
Concannon. Flag coming against Georgetown. Stanwyck. Empty net.
He wanted that one back. This is a must-score situation now with really 17 minutes to go in this game.
Technical, plus 30.
It's a Hopkins team now that hasn't scored for more than 30 minutes in this game. Keep in mind, they trailed Virginia 9-2 at halftime this year and won that game. That was the biggest comeback in Division I lacrosse this year, a 7-goal margin. They're staring at a 5-goal margin here. Very doable, but right now, no spark. Somebody's got to make an energy play.
But the way Virginia plays, a 7-goal margin, far more doable than a 5-goal margin against a Georgetown team that will eat the clock.
Very valid point.
Man-up opportunity, and Tinney with his 3rd to end the long scoring drought for Hopkins. First goal for the Blue Jays since the 5:58 mark of the first quarter.
Sensational skip pass. Once again, the point man just finding the passing lane. Tinney handles the low. Keeps his tiptoes out of the crease. How many times has it been Joel Tinney, whether it's a ground ball play, a defensive stop, a big goal, a big assist this year? He's got to be the guy. The seniors right now, this is your last game on Homewood Field. Your time is now if you're Shackelford Stanwyck, if you're Joel Tinney.
The scoring drought of 30 minutes and 22 seconds ends for Hopkins.
Bringing the pressure a bit now. Look at him stretch out.
Hersey's got to be careful. Has his stick helicoptered out by Williams. Hopkins, 1:15 to go. Here in the 3rd.
I like the strategy, Anish. You sit back, Georgetown's going to eat chunks of time. Get out, make this a more athletic and running and up-tempo contest. Yeah, you may give up a goal or two, but are you willing to sit back right now and let this team just...
These Blue Jays seniors have suffered first-round defeats in each of the last 2 years. Both bloodbaths. losing badly to Duke and Brown.
You could argue that this loss would be worse, though.
I don't think you have to argue much. I think Hopkins came into this game as a considerable favorite, given what we've seen over the course of the season.
They were home dogs last year to Duke. They were big-time dogs up at Brown.
Cole Williams, the feed and the turn away by Morocco. Morocco again! Play it again, Sam! Final seconds, here's Williams. Charging through and denied! Georgetown's defense anchored by the lefty, the senior Nick Morocco, one of the 13 seniors that makes up the bedrock of this Georgetown lacrosse program.
Cross crease, dive, back to your feet, react.
Told us we're not good enough to be here. Every day, people told you, why are you coming here? Today's the day, why? Today's the day we show everybody we belong. Open up.
That's Harry V at the Battle of Agincourt. We few, we bloody few, we band of brothers. And that's what this senior class has been. They've been through adversity, especially as sophomores and juniors. And a chance now to continue their careers into the quarterfinals if they can hold off Hopkins in the final 15 minutes.
Nobody talked about this team preseason, but I remember after their scrimmage with Maryland, I started calling some assistant coaches, hey, Georgetown's a little better this year. Look out for them. I looked at their record last year. I said, you know what? They're a little better than a 4-10 team. So I included it in my top 20 early in the year. And people were like, you're nuts. You're crazy.
Well, when they were 6-0,
then they became 6-0.
They hadn't played anybody.
Hadn't beaten anyone. They fell off at 1-4 mid-season. That's when you write them off. And when Baccaro gets hurt, their best player,
they're done,
dominant
right?
Dodger, there's no way they're making a run. Impossible. Coach Warren, he asked everybody, hey, just do 3% more than you're doing right now. If everybody does it, we can overcome the loss to Dan.
Even going into the Big East tournament, Quint, did you see Georgetown as a Big
I
East
thought they
tournament
would
dark
beat
horse?
Villanova, and I thought they would lose to Denver by a handful.
Hersey looks like he got Cole Williams. Williams 5 goals against Maryland, none today, but an assist as he finds Kyle Marr. 2 straight now for Hopkins, and it's a 3-goal game.
All right, the band's back humming. They forgot the notes of this song. Kyle Marr, he's been consistent this season. He's a great inside and mid-range shooter. We spoke to his mom, Tracy, earlier today. His dad is here, the head coach at Albany. What I love about Kyle is the passion. You just see it. We saw it in practice yesterday, and this kid brings it, and it's infectious to his teammates. You need guys who love the game, who love to score, who show emotion.
Prior to that goal, Quint, Marr, Stanwyck, and Williams were 0 for 17. Tagliaferri.
See what Hopkins does now defensively, Anish. What kind of spacing are they off ball? It looks like they're stretching out now. I do think you have to extend as they are right here. You see the pressure on ball.
They've sped up Georgetown over the last few minutes.
That's what they have to do. And you do that by extending adjacent on defense. Look how spread out Georgetown is.
Wittenberg skips it to Caraway. Met by Daniel Jones. Caraway's pass gets away from Clark. He can't track it down. Hopkins a little pressure. Georgetown a little sloppy.
11th turnover.
You want to win a playoff game at Homewood, you have to beat Hopkins. Can't just sit on a 3-goal lead. They've got Burge trapped on offense. And Hopkins is going to play 5-on-5 as Daniel Jones runs off to the far side with Burge. Here's Cole Williams against Hersey. Hersey blanked the Big East Player of the Year, Ethan Walker, last week. Williams goes down hard. Gibson Smith got him on the back end, no flag. Now Stanwyck against McLeod, the sophomore out of San Francisco. Marr, lefty laser, up high. 3 in a row for Hopkins.
We want more. This was the formula in Bobby Benson's game plan. A pick behind the goal, 2-man games against a close defense. Get a step and beat him from behind the goal. It's Marr curling left-handed with, as you said, the laser, but it all started with a 2-man pick game at X.
Big ground ball by Hopkins, or rather Georgetown off the face-off, Gibson Smith. Tagliaferri, here's Clark, all the way, and Georgetown answers. A hat trick for Robert Clark. He's the one who moved into the starting lineup when Daniel Buccaro got hurt.
Huge to stop the Blue Jays' run. Watch them off the face-off win. Everyone thinks they're going to settle, and they actually attack, and I love the way he looked Turnbull off just a bit here, and he yanks it near side. Look, there was deception in his shoulders and his head carriage that led Turnbull to think he was going far pipe, and he yanked it near side. As you said, you don't win by stalling here. Hopkins is going to come after you. If you're Georgetown, to win this game, you got to keep attacking.
Hopkins double polling at the face-off X. Gibson Smith has it.
He's good, man.
Shovels it back to Morocco, and the Hoyas set up the clear.
He's a young little Hoover. He's like a mini vac right now, 17 in blue. Freshman hockey player. You see the hockey, Anish? You can just see it. That hand-eye coordination, how comfortable he is getting out of the scrum.
It's a good number, too. 17 for Georgetown.
That's the best ever number in my book.
Brody Merrill
at that position.
Here comes Daniel Jones off the failed clear. And now Stanwyck.
I like the ball behind the goal. Again, attacking Georgetown's close defense, whether it's 33, 48, maybe a little 20. But their short sticks are so good. They've been winning. Hersey and Galligan have been winning their matchups today. It's
Alex Kincannon. And now Tinney, goal line extended. Against McLeod. Tinney the step. Tinney the shot. Rebound loose in front of the cage. And Tinney, like a jitterbug all over it. Jitterbug. Stanwyck now against Smith. Posting up. Stanwyck around X. No inside roll. There's the double. Stanwyck gives it up. And we get a timeout from Dave Petramala. 10:36 to go. Georgetown 10.5 away from a first-round upset and a date with Duke in Annapolis.
Back.
6 teams have secured a spot in the quarterfinals. The winner of Georgetown, Johns Hopkins, will get Duke next Sunday in Annapolis. Duke obliterated Hopkins in the first round last year. And if it's Georgetown who holds on to the league, you have master and apprentice. Georgetown head coach Kevin Warren played for Duke head coach John Danowski at Hofstra. Still plenty of time to go. 10.5 left. Cole Williams against Hersey. 6'5" against 6'4".
nice lift by Connor Moran there, getting underneath the arms and elbows of the lanky Cole Williams.
Now Hersey picks up Stanwyck.
I want no part of Hersey. The Chesapeake Bayhawks drafted him, senior out of Westminster, Maryland.
Here's Tinney, he's got Shake. Hersey stays with him. Concannon on the invert. DeSimone. Stanwyck around X. Marr tried to tap it in. Ball's in the crease. And a loose ball push against Georgetown. It'll stay with Hopkins. They say Marr was pushed in. 9.5 to go in regulation. Hopkins staring at a 3-goal deficit. Here comes Marr. The Hoyas looking to get to the quarterfinals and extend what has been an improbable postseason run. Tinney against Galligan. And another save by Morocco.
Barking out defensive signals. Interior defenders, head on a swivel, see the ball, see your man.
Stanwyck looking to shake and lose Moran.
It's a good matchup for Stanwyck.
Moran won it that time. Now Tinney against Galligan. Tinney feeding the crease for Stanwyck. Missed connection, and DeSimone has it. Long possession here for Johns Hopkins. Freshman and freshman, Smith and DeSimone, and Hopkins resets.
Defense has got to be getting tired.
Cole Williams using that big frame. Flag coming against Georgetown. It's been a 2.5-minute possession. Concannon. Over to Tinney.
Legs are burning on defense. It'll impact your communication as you get tired. Got to keep talking through fatigue.
Shot clock against Hopkins. Tinney spinning, draws the slide. Concannon. DeSimone fires wide.
Now you're going to have a tired defense playing man down. This is a situation as a goalie where I would intentionally come up with an equipment malfunction and stall for time here.
Well, you're watching the cage right now.
If I'm Morocco, yeah, you see the slide. I would always have my throat protector, and I'd like unsnap it intentionally, and I wave to ref. Hold on, I can fix my throat, because they're not going to start the game if a goalie has protective equipment that's not ready. So you're trying to buy 30, 45 seconds so your defense can catch their breath.
Let's see if Hopkins can capitalize with the man up. Marr. That shot is wide. Jake Fox in on the extra man for Hopkins, big number 45. Here's Fraser, 29 man-up goals. Good look here for Marr. He's got the hat trick, and it's a 2-goal game. Third goal for Marr, all in the fourth quarter.
Super slow-mo, left-handed, great torque, follow through and release. Love this play. You see the shutoff behind the goal. They're taking Stanwyck out of the equation. Hopkins is all over that. And they're spacing and the play right away. There was no indecision. They play it 5-on-4 to perfection.
And Quint, this face-off huge for Georgetown with a tired defense on the back end. The Hoyas need to possess the ball here and give that D a breather. Prouty wins it for Hopkins. They'll play it back, and Foley sets up the clear. Not a deep Georgetown team.
No, and I'm thinking defensive timeout now. If this possession goes 30, 45 seconds and there's a stoppage, if you're Coach Warren, because your defense is worn out.
And this becomes a battle of wills for Georgetown right now. Tired legs. Remember, even their offensive midfield, they only use 4 guys. They don't really have a true second midfield. Can they hold on over the last 6.5, or will Hopkins come back? Georgetown led by as many as 5. Marr, he's got 3, make it 4. Kyle Marr leading the comeback for the Blue Jays.
This is the same set play that the Jays had success on in the Big Ten tournament. Flip, Marr off a double screen inside. Perfect execution. Bobby Benson, like a good coordinator, saving something, holding something, like in football. You see that great call on 3rd and 11 in the 4th quarter. You're like, where's that been all game? Well, the good ones save something for crunch time.
It was 8-4 Georgetown going into the 4th quarter. Tagliaferri holds on, and now Georgetown needs a long possession. The Hoyas have to give this defense some rest. Hopkins has closed to within 1. The Blue Jays scored the first 3 goals of this game. Georgetown responded with 8 straight. And now a 5-1 run by Hopkins.
Welcome to Mayhem, Anish.
Here is McDonald. Over to Wittenberg. Wittenberg, shot was altered. Comes to Behrens. Up top, Burge, who's had a big game. 4 assists to go along with a couple of goals. Saved by Turnbaugh.
He needed that one.
Hopkins in transition. And Hubler gets it to Cole Williams, who's doubled. Over to Marr. 4 goals in this 4th quarter for Kyle Marr. The pendulum has swung to the home team.
It's what makes this game so enjoyable to play and to watch, and why it's growing like wildfire across the U.S., the revolution. Game of momentum, a game of runs. Things change quickly.
The cerebral Shackelford Stanwyck. Now Cole Williams against Hersey. A couple of Goliaths. Marr, his 5th! Kyle Marr has put this team on his back!
Play it again, Sam. Identical play. You run it until they stop it. Flip behind the goal. There's a lot of action on your screen, left to right. Marr curls left-handed across the formation using that double pick. He catches. He's got time. Turn and rake.
5 goals for Marr, all in the 4th quarter. 3 of them assisted by Stanwyck.
The last 2, Anish, have been the identical play. And what's impressed me about Marr is he didn't buy into the frustration of a 0 for 6 and a 1 for 10 second and 3rd quarter. Stayed the course. As I said, You rely on your seasonal experiences. This is a Blue Jay team that's been trailing 6 times at halftime this year.
Hopkins has pulled to even after trailing by 5 late in the 3rd quarter. And this is a gassed Georgetown defense right now.
They still have 2 timeouts. Probably should have used one earlier after a couple of those long Hopkins possessions.
How about this stalemate? Kicks out to Smith. Do you use a timeout here if you're Georgetown?
To save a possession, yes. They should be organized. There's no reason to call timeout and get organized here. It's got to be Burge, Wittenberg, maybe Caraway with an exclamation point.
Wittenberg against Foley. That's Johns Hopkins' best defender. Now Burge against Kuhn.
The others are primarily decoys.
Bucci over to Burge. 4 assists today. A career high for the senior out of Massapequa, New York. Winner to the quarterfinals where Duke awaits. Wittenberg, the Mercer transfer. Circles back. Crowd wants a shot clock. There it is. 30 seconds to get a shot on goal. Caraway, he's been the go-to guy since Daniel Picaro tore his ACL. Burge looking for help. Jones checked it away. Bucci recovers. Bucci down the alley. Bucci only has 1 goal this season, and Hopkins with the backup and the ball with 95 seconds to go in regulation. The Blue Jays have a timeout. Here comes Tinney. Kyle Marr has 5 goals in this 4th quarter. Downright Herculean. Dad Scott got Albany back to the quarters with a win against Richmond yesterday. Less than a minute. Stanwyck to Marr has been the secret sauce. And Dave Petromala calls a timeout with 44.4 to go. If you are just tuning in, Georgetown led 8-3 late in the 3rd. A Joel Tinney goal made it 8-4. Kyle Marr had the assist on that goal. And then Marr, 5 goals in this 4th quarter to spearhead the comeback.
Catch and fade away. Curl left-handed, 8-6. Extra man rifle, 9-7. Marr from Stanwyck played against Sam, the exact same play, back-to-back goals. 5 in the 4th quarter for Kyle Marr to tie this baby up at 9 apiece.
Sports Center tonight after Sunday Night Baseball. Bucci and Kenny Mayne. That's John Buccigross, not Massimo Bucci. Top moments from Game 1 between the Cavs and Celtics, a big Boston romp. Plus Tiger Woods' resurgence at the Players' Championship, and Barry Melrose in studio. Scott Marr, by the way, Kyle's dad. We saw him earlier sporting the Barry Melrose look. The Homewood faithful wondering if the Hopkins band has one more song left. Georgetown, a tired defense right now. I mean, can they hold on for the final 45 seconds?
This Hopkins team recently has a lot of pressure cooker situations. Marr scored the game winner at Michigan in a 1-goal game. They lose a heartbreaker to Maryland here in 3 OTs. They beat Ohio State at the buzzer on that double deflection by Kincannon. So in the last month, Anish, this is nothing new. Living dangerously, baby.
Mother's Day mayhem at Homewood. Nick Morocco, 11 saves. The senior southpaw.
Look at his eyes.
Joel Tinney, the Tin Man, he's got a hat trick today. Concannon had the game winner against Ohio State. 30 seconds. Tinney on the wing.
Tinney time.
He's had a knack for the big moment in his Hopkins career. Sizing up the freshman Gibson Smith. He'll go with 15 seconds. Tinney streaking. Shot wide. 10 seconds left in regulation. Here comes Stanwyck. Changes direction. Stanwyck! Ball loose on the crease. Stanwyck was in the crease. And we have overtime at Homewood.
Tinney looking to win it from the wing. Nice.
First round exits. Joel Tinney has played hero a number of times in his Hopkins career. A three-time All-American. He's on one of the face-off wings. Tagliaferri and Prouty at the face-off X. Next goal wins. Duke gets the winner next weekend in Annapolis. Tagliaferri 14 out of 22. Prouty 2 out of 5. This face-off battle, a microcosm of this game.
Communication from wings right now. They're talking to these guys. Prouty got the clamp, Anish, but he did not scoop it or free up the ball fast enough. He sat on it for 1,001, 1,002, almost 1,003.
So Georgetown has it. Robert Clark, who's got 3 goals today. Here comes Bucci against Daniel Jones. Burge up top. 2 goals, 4 helpers today. Now Bucci has it knocked loose. Colwell picks it up for Hopkins. "13 turnovers for Georgetown." Tinney. And Hopkins waits for its personnel. They've got the timeout. Concannon, DeSimone, and Tinney, the middies. Marr, Williams, and Stanwyck on attack. Marr scored 5 goals in the 4th quarter for Hopkins to help get this game to overtime. Hopkins electing not to use the timeout. Here's Tinney against Jenkins. Shovels to Stanwyck. Stanwyck to Marr has been the connection.
They covered it well that time, Georgetown did. That was the identical play where Marr comes left-handed off that double pick. I thought they might use Marr as a decoy there, Anish, where he comes off left-handed. Then the guys who set the pick cut to the far post. And you think maybe Georgetown would overcommit to Marr and someone else would be open inside.
Instead, a timeout by Johns Hopkins, 1:15 to go. And to your point, Quint, Stanwyck's the guy you trust making that pass too.
Especially when he's curling right-handed. It's a low-risk play because Marr's really kind of on the wing. As we take a look at the bracket,
Coverage of the NCAA championships continue this weekend on ESPNU. For more info, log on to ncaa.com. Maryland today advancing. Denver today, an unseeded team, the first unseeded team to get to the quarters, knocking off Notre Dame. Georgetown can be the second unseeded team, but their defense has to come up with a stop first.
Denver impressed with their defense. You know, yesterday's game, I thought Loyola played 2 quarters of championship level lacrosse, where you're saying, wow, this Hoya team could make a run to the title, and then stubbing their toe in the 4th quarter. They left kind of a bad taste in your mouth with their win. Tonight, Cornell and Syracuse should be a dandy. Cornell, slight favorite on the road, having beaten the Orange earlier this year.
Chris Cotter, Paul Carcaterra, and Rick Beardsley will have the call from the Carrier Dome.
Always the nightcap after graduation. No place like the Dome. Home sweet Dome, baby. Can't wait to hustle home and get on the couch and watch that one.
Home sweet Dome, no place like Homewood. One of the iconic backdrops in college lacrosse, playing host to a thriller between Georgetown and Johns Hopkins. A minute to go in overtime. Cole Williams against Hersey. Williams shooting high, and Stanwyck there to back up. Williams without a goal today. Stanwyck against McLeod. Galligan staying close to Marr. DeSimone looking for a cutter, no movement.
Yeah, too much hero ball. It's one guy dodging and 5 watching.
Here comes Stanwyck against McLeod. Stanwyck on the inside. If it counts, Hopkins wins. The Blue Jays complete the comeback. Shaq Stanwyck in overtime for the game winner.
Push or no push. Stanwyck operating right-handed, gets to the tangent of the crease, and he is clearly pushed inside. He gains leverage right here, and the defender's got only one opportunity. That would be a trail check. Because once he pushes here, that gives Stanwyck really the ability to fly across and land in the crease. Reaction, survive, and advance. Down 8-3, the improbable comeback. Kyle Marr.